and supportive of your hormonal health. And now I just want to get juice. You can still push yourself and go hard without. I literally feel like a new woman. Any sort of big, drastic, harsh change overnight is still gonna always be a big stress on the body. I am not like as big of a psycho-sinking stan as you guys all may think. How common this misconception is. I'm not saying all stress is bad, but again, just adding stress on your body in a smart way and not overdoing it. Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to another video. It is dreary out today. The last video I was so juiced, I was like, look how nice it is. It's been raining all day and it's been very dark. It's actually starting to clear now that I'm assessing the situation, but it's freezing. It's like 60 and rainy. And this is when I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I think I'm equipped and ready to handle the winter here. And then days like this happen, I'm like, actually, I'm not sure if I can do it. My hands are even freaking freezing and I'm inside. But anyways, in this video, I want to share with you guys how to still push yourself and achieve the goals that you have set in your fitness journey while still being able to be mindful and supportive of your hormonal health. This is honestly such a freaking major topic that was truly never ever covered like in the online social media space like 4-ish years ago. I never knew how much our hormonal health mattered, first of all, and how much it was impacted by our lifestyle factors, our nutrition, our exercise. I never knew how directly correlated they were and how much our hormonal health actually directly impacts the quality of life that we have, our health, our libido, our energy. Like, it is such a backbone when it comes to how we feel and the life that we're able to live. So I basically went through a really big learning curve like 3-4 years ago now. 2020, 3 years ago. Yeah, so like between 2019 and 2020 was when I really struggled with my hormonal health. I struggled with really high cortisol levels. I struggled with something called moon face, which is like when your cortisol levels are really high and you just carry a bunch of inflammation from your body being so stressed out. And then about a year or so later, I struggled with really low estrogen levels. So I was deficient in estrogen. The normal range could be anywhere between like 20 up to 300, depending on where you're at in your cycle and how old you are. So like 20 was like a postmenopausal grandma. This is all according to my gynecologist at the time. And when I tested for my estrogen at that time, my levels were 17, which is insanely low. I was like 22 at the time. Crazy low. I had no libido. I just was constantly wired all the time. I didn't have a period for 8 months. It just was not a good look. And so since that point in time, I've done so much research, so much experience as well through naturally healing and balancing out my hormones. And now I have a super regular period since then. And I live my life with a very different approach to be mindful and supportive of my hormones. And especially as females in fitness, it's so important for us to adjust our training to be mindful of it. It's not something that needs to hold us back. That's definitely not what I want my message to be. We still can train hard. We just need to do it more tactically and more mindfully in order to still be supportive of being a female and the hormone profile that comes with it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys some things to help you guys so that you can still push yourself while still being mindful and supportive of your hormones. You guys are currently in the apple basket, but it's 1:15. I don't really need any caffeine. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing the sun starting to come out for the first time all day. And now I just wanna get juiced. However, we are only going to the gym to walk on the treadmill. I'm gonna do 12-3-30 because I haven't really done any organized cardio in weeks and weeks. I also haven't had the pina colada flavor of these Oxy Shred energy cans. So freaking good. I personally love like pineapple, mango, tropical. This tastes just like a freaking pina colada. So good. If you're someone who's sensitive to caffeine or hates like the anxiousness, the jitters, the crash that comes with traditional pre-workout, I cannot recommend Oxy Shred enough. It comes in these really cute carbonated cans, or you could use, they have it in like a powdered form. Some of it is caffeinated. They also have non-stim, which means there's no caffeine. Totally up to you, but this helps me so much with just getting focused, boosting my mood, getting more energized. It helps so much with my performance in the gym. This stuff just never fails to hype me up. If I need to pick me up during the day, it's this bad boy. Pina colada is awesome. Bahama Breeze is definitely my top favorite. And then also Guava Paradise. Delicious. Code LIFTIT 10 to save. And I need to close the fridge. I need some more grapes though. Ah, frick. Dang it. Otra vez. Oh, it's way too huge. Otra vez. Otra vez. These are huge. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that's why. Otra vez. Here she goes. I'm in perfect, yo, I got it, no sarcasm.
eyes on me all night, alright.
I'm someone who's definitely going to be telling you, you need to be training very hard if you want to be seeing genuine actual muscle growth, if you want to be seeing progress. Like I've said that multiple times on this channel, I'm a huge advocate for making sure you're actually training hard. However, with that being said, and bringing us to our first tip of how to do so while still being mindful of your hormones, is you want to be doing it smartly / not overdoing it, right? You can still push yourself and go hard without doing something that's classified as overtraining, which is essentially just overdoing it. So I'm not saying to be pushing yourself, training hard, meaning you have to be training all your sets till failure, being in the gym 6 days a week. No, that's not what I mean when I say that. The best way to do so is train hard, but scale down your frequency of training so you're still giving your body enough time to recover and handle the stress that your body is undergoing. You don't want to be throwing too much stress and stimulus at it that then you're going to be stressing your hormones out, and that really only happens when you're overtraining and doing it 6 days a week. That's why I'm a very big advocate, especially for females watching me, because like I'm saying, we are genetically made up different hormonally. The amount of stress our body can endure is different than that of men. It's just science. That's why I'm always preaching, especially for women, that there's really no need to be training like 5 days a week. Anywhere from 3 to 5 days is more than enough of what you need. And with that being said, that doesn't also necessarily mean that all 5 days are like these super really high intense bouts of training. I'm still getting movement in 5 days a week, but like 2 of those days are pretty low impact. Like today, this is classified as one of my 5 gym sessions. However, I'm doing a low intensity bout of cardio, right? I'm not training till failure. I'm not doing something that yields a really big long rest period, or I'm not doing anything that is really triggering a lot of my cortisol levels or a lot of hormone disruption, because it's really nice and steady. It's low impact. So even if you are wanting to be on that higher range of 5 gym sessions a week, don't feel like all 5 of those need to be super really vigorous, high intense, high impact movement. Feel free to sprinkle in 1 to 2 days of Pilates or yoga or walking or just like some steady state cardio, just to give your body, still make sure it has movement in and it helps you make steps towards achieving your goals without it being super strenuous on your body. The next tip that I have may be even more important just because of how common this misconception is, and it has to do with cardio. So my next tip is to not overdo cardio. And I mean this both in regards to doing too long of sessions of cardio, as well as doing too intense sessions of cardio. This is a big one for a lot of people because so many people think that in order to hit whatever their fitness goals are, especially if you're trying to lose body fat, they think that they just basically need to pound out cardio, whether they're doing hours of running on the treadmill or doing so many HIIT cardio sessions a week. All that does is just add a really lot of stress on the body. And basically, when you're really trying to support your hormones, you want to take a more stress-free approach as possible. So you really want to make sure that you're doing cardio smartly and you're not overdoing it, and you're incorporating moderate and low intense sessions so it's easier on your hormones while you're still being able to get movement in. Now, I'm not saying you can't ever do HIIT cardio. I'm not saying you can never do really long distance runs, but this shouldn't be like an everyday thing, and you really should be balancing out your sessions throughout your week. Like I said in kind of my first couple of tips. So you have higher intense, higher stress sessions, as well as some more lower intense, more recovery sessions in your week as well. So my next tip going hand in hand with that is to opt in for low impact movement to help you de-stress, and specifically walking. There's a very intentional reason why I do steady state incline walking once a week for my cardio. Walking is a great way to simultaneously de-stress the body because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for that. So this is a great way to still burn calories, get movement in, get some sweat going, especially if you have an incline on that treadmill, while not overstressing the body. And it also does not yield a very long recovery time. So if you're like training heavy or incorporating some HIIT sessions throughout the week, all those things take a good amount of recovery for your body that needs to go through. So the last thing it needs is kind of like another really strict, high intense cardio session. So like adding in something that's lower intensity, low impact is a way for you to still get movement in while not needing to add something else that your body needs to recover from. I'm telling you guys, walking has changed my life. It was something I incorporated when I was really trying to help heal and rebalance my hormones, and I've never looked back since. I literally feel like a new woman. I really didn't have time to give you guys before and after, but I just got my hair cut. This lighting is rather harsh, but I got like 3-4 inches off. It's actually a little shorter than I would like. Usually I like it to be like right about where my nipple is, which is pretty much where it is. It's just like a hair shorter. No pun intended. But I think she just took off what needed to come off, and then I was like, I'm glad we're on the same page, because I said I want like 3 to 4 inches off. She was like, that's exactly what needs to come off. So it's like lovely. And then I got my little short curtain bang things. I love these when they're just like to the bottom of my chin. They were really grown out. They were like probably as long as this piece of hair that's coming in right now. They were freaking long. I don't know, I think the last time I got a haircut was before Costa Rica. I could be wrong, but my hair feels so much freaking healthier. New woman, new woman. Okay guys, guess where we are? The Vans outfit. Yep, outlet. The time has come. I'm returning the shoes with the flames because I recently looked at my human design and I'm kind of so obsessed with it, and I'm like infatuated, and like I really want to try to live my life by my human design for like the next 6 months and just like kind of see what happens. And my human design, I forget what I am, a generator. And so that means that I have to basically, moral of the story was like stay close to things that make me feel excited and like light me up, and like I'm one of my, like my purpose of being alive is to pour good energy into the world. And so it's like me being excited on things and being lit up on things like pours into other people and like lights them up and fuels them and like provides energy. So basically I need to stay close to the things that light me up. Like if it's like an or an I'm not sure, it's a no. Like it has to be a hell yes, full body hell yes. And that's how I know that I'm like making the right decision, going the right direction, etc. And so I'm really applying this to my Vans. My Vans are like like I don't hate them, I don't love them, and I feel like that always really holds me up. I'm like, I don't know, I kind of feel like indifferent, you know, and that's a no. And I want to try to live my life like that, of like you should be feeling like a full body yes, and like that should be your guide. So I'm starting small and doing it with my Vans, and I'm just gonna go in there, return them. I'm not gonna overthink it because I already did this before where I tried to go return them and I walked out of the store and I didn't return them. So I want to fall in love with the shoes that I'm gonna be wearing for like a few years on end. So yeah, I can't get over how hot it's gotten now. Like it was so cold and rainy, and now it's like really warm and toasty. Oh, hallelujah. I wasn't sure if I had the receipt. Hi, how are you? I just wanted to return these.
Just these ones?
Yeah. Dang, that was actually really close. I was coming up on my 30-day mark. 5 days would have been 30 days. Dude, it's gorgeous out. What the heck? This is why I love Utah. It'll only rain for like 30 minutes. Well, actually this morning was really rainy, but it'll really clear up. Like the whole day doesn't mean, just because it rains doesn't mean the whole day is like ruined. I just got the cutest compliment on my little one piece from Free People. I'm telling you, if you haven't bought the onesie from Free People, I don't even know what it's called, but with like the open back, you need it in your life. It's like the benefits of a dress, but activewear edition. My next tip that I have is to make sure that you're consuming enough calories. This is huge, and this goes for if you're trying to build muscle and like be in a bulking phase, and even if you're trying to lean out and like go through a cutting phase. It's still so important to make sure that you're still giving your body a sufficient amount of calories. Any sort of big, drastic, harsh change overnight is still gonna always be a big stress on the body, and that's really not what we're trying to do, especially when we're trying to be very mindful of our hormones. Like you basically want to do, and with all these tips I'm giving you with this video, the main strategy here is to basically have an as stress-free protocol as possible, or like to minimize the amount of stress in your training protocol and regimen as possible. So it's really important to make sure that you're eating enough calories. Again, even if you're trying to lose body fat and you're in a deficit, there's no need to drop your calories very drastically low and be really under eating. And even when you're trying to bulk, right, and you're like really increasing how much weight that you're using, and you're really going really hard in the gym, and maybe you are ramping up your frequency of training because that is your priority at this time, it's so crucial to make sure that you're fueling your body properly to make sure that you're able to recover from that stimulus and stress that you're putting on it. Even aside from the hormonal factor, like especially if you're trying to put on weight and muscle, you need to also make sure that you're fueling your body enough to make sure that you're growing. You can't just only like be killing yourself in the gym and not have your nutrition be on par and expect to experience growth. So eating enough when you're bulking is so important for your hormones and for also actually seeing progress. With that, my next tip is to go very slow when you're transitioning either into a deficit or a surplus, but specifically definitely when you are transitioning into a deficit if you're trying to lose weight. You do not want to drop calories and ramp up cardio overnight and create this very big drastic deficit. Like I just said in the previous tip, that's going to create a very big stress on the body, which is not what we're wanting if we're trying to support our hormones. So the best way to either enter a deficit or a surplus is to take it slow. There's no need to drop your calories more than like 250 to 500 calories below your maintenance if you're trying to go into a cut, and vice versa, 250 to 500 calories above your maintenance if you're trying to go into a surplus. Those are great starting points. There's no need to go like really harsh. That's going to be the best way to make sure that you're supporting your hormones and being mindful while you're actually still transitioning into pursuing these goals. Next little tip that I have is to be smart about when you PR or when you like have these very, very strenuous workouts. Now, I am not like as big of a cycle syncing stan as you guys all may think. Like, I do think it's valid. I think it's warranted. I think it has a place, but I don't think like your cycle needs to dictate your whole entire life in your training. Like if you're feeling good and you're on day 4 of your cycle, like you can go train how you want. It's more so just like it's something to be mindful of and just to give you more awareness of why you may be feeling the way that you are. But like I would never, if I'm feeling really good, just actively not to go work out or something because I'm in a certain part of my cycle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more so an advocate just of listening to your body, and having the knowledge of how your cycle works will give you more perspective of why you're feeling certain ways, you know? However, with that being said, I know that my body is very sensitive right before I have my period. That's also when I feel the most lethargic, the weakest. That's when I feel the worst, is right before my period. And again, because I have a history of having a lost period, like for me, that's just not something that I'd like to really try to push myself right before my period. Now, what do I mean by this? That's gonna not be an ideal time for me to try to hit like 315 or 365 for hip thrust. Like that's a time where, this is a time when I would not go so heavy on hip thrust and add intensity in other ways. So maybe I'll add pulses, or I'll do a complex where I'm doing 10 reps, like normal hip thrust reps. Why am I stuttering so much? Into cast bridges, or I'll do myo reps. I'll just do a different variation where the focus isn't so much on me lifting as heavy as possible. I find that's where when I put up my body under more stress is when I'm lifting very, very heavy weight. So I just try to be mindful, and that way I listen to my body and say maybe now's not the best time for me to try to PR and like move as much weight as possible. I'll opt for adding intensity by maybe increasing reps, adding pulses, increasing time under tension, and that really helps me a ton. You guys, I got some blue light glasses and I literally look like the character from The Incredibles. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know the movie well enough, but the girl with the short black hair is me. Anyways, last couple tips that I have to round out this video, they kind of go hand in hand, and that is to really prioritize sleep and stress management. When you are in a deficit or just anything, if you're having a really harsh training protocol because you're training really hard to go through a bulk and put on muscle, like again, like I'm saying, all those are stresses on the body. So sleep is like the one time that your body can recuperate and actually recover and like respond to the stimulus that you're putting on it. Sleep is insane if you do research how much it impacts your hormonal levels and like even your hunger cues and things like that, which then impacts your next day. Like it does so much. I cannot stress sleep enough. Like I feel like it seems like something that's like overrated and like overstressed, but I feel like it's understressed. Like getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night is so insane. Even just genuinely for your physiological health and longevity. Like, your body needs it. And if you don't get enough sleep and you're just like constantly stressing your body out and you're like eating in a deficit and then you're training really hard, all this stuff, it's like your body never catches a break and it's really just gonna wreak more havoc on your hormones. So that's so important. And then kind of hand in hand with that is stress management. Sleep helps with having your body work through stress, but also just in general, like mentally trying to not overthink and have your stressful thoughts run away from you. Like, this is why I'm so big into mindfulness, because I never had any sort of stress management practices, and my body physiologically was already going through so many stresses from my training and nutrition that the last thing it needed was mental stresses, because the body kind of perceives the two the same. So it just was adding more stress physiologically, like internally with my body. So doing what you can to de-stress mentally, taking baths, going for walks, like just doing what you can to take a breath, to relax, like doing breath work, just being present helps so much with not overstressing your body, and again, giving your body space to recover in those increments when it's like actually at like a peaceful state. I promise the best thing that you could do for your body is be in a more stress-free state. That is what all of us needs, regulating your nervous system. Like, that is the true win. That's the true epitome of health. And I've experienced that firsthand over and over again. And that's what means so much to me now. And that's why I will prioritize going for a walk one day rather than trying to squeeze in a super stressful leg day if I know and feel in my body that that walk is what I need. I'm not saying all stress is bad, but again, just adding stress on your body in a smart way and not overdoing it. But anyways, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope you guys had a takeaway. You learned something. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. If you want me to make kind of a sequel of this or have any further questions on this subject they want me to make more videos about, just let me know down below. I'm sending you guys so much love. Again, thank you so much for your time, for watching this, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.